I'm in the Army, so like when it comes to moving around, we do it about every 3 years. So
like a military family, you can't count on your plans because it never works. So that's kind of a way to trust God and be like, I don't really have control over this anyway. I'm gonna have to trust God with He's gonna make a way for wherever He wants us to be and what He wants us to be doing. We moved to Kentucky, and I think in my head I was just like, we'll get pregnant, have a baby, and it'll all be great. We have like unexplained infertility, which is a little bit more frustrating than having a clear issue. It was tough. I was kind of newer in my faith journey, and I was like, well, if we just, do more. Not specifically foster care, but like I was trying to like volunteer at the church in other ways. But if we kind of do the works, then maybe we'll get pregnant. But that's not how it works. Like, that's not the gospel. But He's doing something, even if we don't understand, like, why. We had the space in our house. We had the room, and we had a certain amount of chairs at our table. And my prayer was like, Lord, fill our table. Foster care was kind of in the back of our mind, just because we had like a quick little experience with it when we did live in Minnesota. I think it just became more relevant, like, hey, this is actually a thing, once we were at Southeast.
Considering a foster care and adoption class that we took kind of laid out what that process looked like, them kind of leading us to who we needed to talk to was probably what helped the most.
When you take the Considering Foster Care and Adoption class, you'll hear from foster parents that have been doing it for a long time. So then once you kind of hear the stories, but you can't just like turn a blind eye to it, when you do have like the privilege of having a nice cozy home and you already love kids, it's like, yeah, why not just go for it? I was so grateful that we started through the church, going through it with Southeast. Everyone in the family advocacy ministry has been doing this for a lot longer than us, obviously, and yeah, they've just been wonderful.
We got that first phone call, and it was a 1 and 2 year old. I think we were more looking for just one to start off.
We had 2 little kids, and turns out we needed 2 cribs, and we only had 1, and they showed up with a whole crib for us.
Bouncers and a couple buckets of toys.
All sorts of stuff. Just their willingness to jump right in and help us was wonderful, irreplaceable. So our second phone call was for 2 boys, 5 and 7, and it was kind of comical because I get the phone call and I was like, I don't know, that's it's elementary. I don't know, we don't know what we're doing. And I call him, and I was expecting him to be no, we just literally just had a placement, can we have a little bit longer of a break or whatever? And but he's like, yeah, let's do it.
We're almost at a year with our boys now.
It definitely stretches you to what you think you're capable of.
There's such a need for it, and we never had kids before, so we didn't really know what we were doing. We just said, why not?
No kids are ours to begin with. They are his. But if you can just take that step to be like, hey, this is realistically, we could do this. You're not going to regret it. Just be even more grateful to God that you get to be a part of it. Yeah, He's still working it out, no matter what it looks like, and we can trust Him. And He is using that pain. We would not be these people. I think if we had kids right away, we wouldn't be here.
There's something that's going to happen that's going to push you to do something that you never would have thought. And I think you're right. If we had our own, biological children like we wanted to, we probably would have never, made this leap into taking kids into our own. And 2 days ago, we took in another young girl. We weren't necessarily prepared to do that, and we weren't planning on doing that. But she called me and she's like, "Is this a good idea?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Why not?" We had to move to a bigger table.
Just the other day.
Because, 5 doesn't sit at a 4-person high-top table. So, our table's full, and we kind of joke with each other. It's like,
do we dare get a bigger table?
I think the joke is, we could probably take some more.